guys, welcome to the video. We're going to go on a cool little trip down to Wallaroo. Beautiful place. We've got a beachfront site on the caravan park there, so it should be really cool. Pretty excited to take you along with us. We'll get the caravan all hooked up. We're going to get the caravan home. We're a couple of days early at the moment. We're just going to get it home and get it all ready and packed and go over everything and make sure everything's all in good condition. It's been probably about a month since we've used it. Had a quick look over it and everything looks to be pretty good. So we should be good to go, and we'll get it hooked up and back home and packed up. Just something that we found is pretty recommended by most people, and that's crossing your chains. So the idea of the chains obviously is to stop anything major happening if the tow ball gets disconnected. Having the chains both droop down the same side sort of gives the chance that the hitch can still hit the ground and drag on the ground, depending on your length of your chains obviously. But crossing those chains, you can see that there's a nice bed for that to land in there, and it tends to keep the trailer a lot more steady if it does come disconnected. Just something we learned along the way. Of course, our safety brake. It's important to try your best to hook that up to the actual body of the car as well, and not on the tow ball or the hitch, because obviously if the hitch comes out and that goes with it, it's kind of pointless. So hook that up to the car, hook that up to the hitch, should be good. Get our stone stumper all hooked up. A lot of people worry about this being a lot more trouble to hook up. I find it just as easy as anything else. I mean, we've had this since the start, pretty much. Easy. Two secs pretty much, which is all on. I did just realise though that because the van's been here for a little while, we've had a lot of stuff pulled apart inside the van. Well, not pulled apart, just emptied out, so we're not carrying any excess luggage or anything like that. So we'll go in the van before I drive off, because I was about to drive off, which I've done before. We'll go in there and just tidy some stuff up and make sure she's all good to drive home, and then we'll get her home. We've got these little tubs that we got from Bunnings. We keep all our little knickknacks in here above the stove. So we've got a battery one, we've got a first aid one, we've got, you know, electrical one, things that we need that are important that we can't do without, and they fit up here quite nicely actually. I'll show you. They sort of lock in place up there, which is cool. And then, does anyone else have 500,000 stubby coolers with them? I don't know why we have so many, but we've got some from all the places we've been. We sort of enjoy collecting as well. We keep all our medicines and everything up here as well, out the way of the kids, just in case. Our kids are pretty good with that sort of thing, but it can't hurt to keep them out the way. I reckon I've got another 10 of these in the car as well. We do our best in here to keep everything heavy down low. Obviously, yeah, when you're traveling long distance, and if you do get a sway up or any wind or anything like that, it's a lot better to keep all the heavy stuff down low. So we keep a lot of our jars and glasses all along the bottom, in the bottom shelves and cupboards under the seats and everything. And then you can see up here, a lot of our lighter stuff all comes up here. I think it just makes the van tow a lot nicer. A lot of stuff ends up going in the sink as well. And clothes on the bed. So everything back here looks pretty good. All the cupboards closed. What we will do is I'll just see if I can check how our battery system's going. I'm not sure if you can see that. So we've got the BM Pro, all of our stuff up here, Battery Plus HA 35.2, and the Odyssey link and the Com link as well. The Odyssey link down here is like an add-on, and basically that gives you the ability to monitor some external things, like we've got fridge temp, gas bottle. You can do tire pressures, you can do a few other little bits and pieces actually. So this unit's actually really cool. It's like a little tablet in itself. Lots of information. So the Smart Connect here, got your wheels, sensor. You probably can't really see that, it's sort of a bit dim, I apologize. But we can operate everything here. Our water pumps, all our lights. We can switch it onto eco mode. It tells us our water tanks. So we have two 90-litre fresh water tanks and a grey tank. I'm actually thinking about making the grey tank into a fresh tank, so we'll see how we go with that. And then down here, we've got, I'm not sure if you can see that, so we've got our battery amps. That's amps, total amps going in at the moment. And then this is our load, so total amps going out. Basically how much time we've got left, our voltage, and where that input source is coming from. So our setup's a little bit different to normal. We've got a few extra little bits and pieces on ours. So the BM Pro from factory comes as a 30 amp charge. We've got a heap of lithium under the bed, which we really want to get charged as quick as possible. So we have upgraded our charging system. We've piggybacked a Red Arc DC 50 amp charger. And also we've got the BM Pro shunt. So it does confuse the shunt a little bit, but the shunt does know exactly what's going in and what's going out, because it's all traveling through the shunt. The only thing it gets confused with is exactly where that charge is coming from. So I mean, for us, that just means that on the input source here, it won't tell us if it's solar or auxiliary, but it's still keeping track of everything as normal. So it's been really good for us. We had a little bit of trouble with the BM Pro at the start, but that was probably, like most things, it was probably a lot to do with the installation people rather than the actual BM Pro unit itself. So we've got a ton of solar up on the roof. I think we've got about 800 watts, almost 1,000 watts of solar will be up there soon. So yeah, we just want to be able to get all of that charge into the batteries as quick as possible. That's the whole point of having all this stuff, I guess, isn't it? All right, I reckon we're pretty much done. I'm gonna go and get the caravan all locked up. We'll grab the caravan and head back home. I might even stop by the car wash on the way. We've got a nice car wash just around the corner here where I can get right up on the caravan and wash the roof as well, because it's been a while. We'll get those panels all nice and clean so they're doing their thing. Cool, see you on the road. We've made our way down to Wallaroo Holiday Park, and we're going to be down here for the weekend, which should be nice. Unfortunately, we've brought some bad weather with us. It's raining a bit at the moment, but hopefully it'll clear up over the next day or two. We're down here and we've got to meet with the Y62 Patrol Club, so that should be good to go down to the beach and have a look. Wallaroo's got a beautiful big beach to have a look at. So we'll get set up and we'll go from there. View looks killer out here. We're right on the beach there, as you can see. Caravan park has sites all along the beach just there. We just went for a bit of a drive down the beach. Obviously in this kind of weather there's no one down at the beach, but Wallaroo Beach is so we went right down to North Beach. Wallaroo Beach is a beautiful little place. It does look like someone's got a fire pit there, which is quite interesting. So I didn't find out whether we could bring our fire pit here. We've actually got it set up at home from last time we had a spit. which was nice. So we've got the van all set up. We've got our Y62 patrol meet tomorrow that we're going to be going to visit. David Dash and all those guys have just rocked up, and Steve Allen. They're on some sites further on the other side of the park, a little bit away from us. We sort of jagged the beachfront site because there was one available, and we've stayed here before, just a couple of sites down earlier in the year. We haven't got a whole lot planned, so to speak. We're going to do a bit of exploring around Wallaroo, see what we can find, and I think there's a few bits and pieces around the place that are quite nice to go for a drive. If the rain stops long enough, we'll try and do a little bit of fishing off the jetty. We're not too far from the jetty. The jetty's just over here. Wallaroo jetty's known for being pretty good for the fish, so we'll see what we can do there. Having a few drinks at the moment. We have discovered a beautiful low carb beer. If anyone's interested, I'll show you that in a little bit. But we're trying to do a bit of a keto thing at the moment. Try and spruce up the diet and lose a little bit of weight if we can, just be a little bit better with our food. So obviously each time we go away, we do find ourselves quite easily drinking most days, so we're going to try and get out of that habit. So going away in the caravan doesn't mean holiday mode and drinking if we can help it. So we did find, like I said, a nice low carb beer that we're going to try. I had one bottle before and it's actually not too bad. I was quite surprised. I thought it would be absolutely horrid. I'm not a big beer drinker, to be honest, but yeah, it was actually quite nice. I'll show you the label. I'll roll some footage of the label now. But yeah, that's quite nice. It's a little bit chilly. It has been drizzling all day. We're gonna flick the diesel heater on. There's no one next to us. We've got a site here and a site on that side, so normally we're pretty hesitant turning the diesel heater on if there's anyone near us, just because it's a little bit loud out this side where the exhaust is. But there's no one here, so someone's got a generator up the back there, so it should be all right. Van's all looking pretty clean. The track up here was all easy and simple, which is good, no problems. We did give the van a bit of a check over before we left. Jacked all the axles up and just checked the wheel bearings and everything. Had a good look underneath it as well, and everything was pretty good. You can see the diesel heater just starting up now. That diesel heater is probably one of the best things I've put in the van. We've done a fair bit to it. We've added tons of stuff to the van, but that diesel heater has paid for itself tenfold, which is really, really good. Obviously, you can see here, have a look. You can see it's copped an absolute pounding. And even down here, there's some wiring I've got to fix up. I'm going to do that tomorrow if the rain stops, but that's that poor muffler has been absolutely caned by rocks. We had the drone up before and it was a beautiful sight all along the beach. We bought something out this time for Ollie. I'll say for Ollie, I mean for me and Ollie. But we've got a little rock crawler, a little RC rock crawler I'll show you a bit later as well, which is kind of cool. But we'll get back to you a little bit later. Good morning guys, it is Saturday morning and we're going to go for a nice cruise today. I think we're going to head down to Port Broughton. There's some nice places down there. There's some big patrols over there with some big lifts. It's kind of cool. So the weather is still a bit wet, unfortunately. It's still raining, But we won't let that spoil the fun. We're going to go for a nice drive and do some exploring and see what we can find today. Should be good. Alright, time to go meet all the other crew. They're just down the other side of the park. They've got a big section down the other side of the park, and we've got the beachfront site. So we're going to cruise down there and meet up with everybody and get ready to go for a bit of a drive.
Every night I'm going on the grid, texting back, I want you.
A little bit cold and wet, but we'll go for a drive anyway. Should be nice.
Miss you, take you off. I came here way too strong, cannot keep it low key. Got me drugged, your pheromones hit the roof. Bottle your taste. It's really a bad reception out there. Where you heading? Why ain't gravity pulling you in closer to me? I've lost you, but I need you, and you're off my radar now. I've lost you, telling you that I need you, but you're off my radar now. Found myself in between the lines, underneath your bed sheets. It started fun, but now I'm in too deep into this flow. A zero-sum game that I will lose. There's no zipping past it. Every time you walk away from me, I want you. How could I want you more? Or when did I lose my perspective? Oh God, have I lost it? But my cravings for you so shameless.
So we're just down a little bit from North Beach and Wallaroo. I'm not sure what the point's called, I'll have to look it up, but there's some very light sort of four-wheel drive tracks around here.
Yeah, there's a nice little up there.
Some little muddy hill climbs and some rocky bits that we're all just sort of driving around at the moment. We got 7 or 8 cars and maybe 1 or 2 more coming later this afternoon.
I've lost you, but I need you, and you're off my radar now. I've lost you, telling you that I need you, but you're off my radar now. Found myself in between the lines, underneath your bed sheets. It started fun, but now I'm in too deep into this flow. A zero-sum game that I will lose. There's no zipping past it. Every time you walk away from me, I want you. How could I want you more? Or when did I lose my perspective? Oh God, have I lost it? But my cravings for you so shameless, can't get enough. I've lost you, but I need you, and you're off my radar now. I've lost you, telling you that I need you, but you're off my radar now. I'm like an outcast from pillar to post. There's no denial, I'm chasing ghosts. I'm like an outcast from pillar to post, hitting you up but I'm stuck on hold. It's really a bad reception out there. Where you heading? Why ain't gravity pulling you in closer to me? Yeah, I've lost you, but I need you, and you're off my radar now. I've lost you, yeah, I lost you, telling you that I need you, but you're off my radar now. I've lost you, I've lost you. I keep on looking for you.
We've just pulled over for a bit of a break, stretch the legs a little bit. Have a look at this little cave that we've found. Beautiful view straight out to the beach as well. It's got this little tunnel that goes right up to the surface up the top, and you can actually fit down the tunnel there as well and then come right out into into the beach here. That's cool. Beautiful little things that you'd never find unless you've been here with someone who's sort of explored the area, or you're exploring the area yourself. I'll take you up this little tunnel here. See the tunnel? We'll crawl up it. And then we'll come back down. But look at that. That's awesome. Come back down the tunnel here. How cool is that? Alright, we're back. Well, that turned into a bit more of a mud mission than we were planning on doing. Have a look at the car. I'll flick this around, have a look. Bit of a disaster. So good, that was good fun. We ended up following one of the guys along the coast, along a dirt road, and he took us down to some tracks and some hill climbs and some mud pits. It was actually quite a bit of fun. I didn't even know that half that stuff was there, so it's good to know. There were some beautiful camp spots too. We'll probably come back for lunch, chuck some food on to cook, chuck some sausages, and we've got the air fryer here as well, so we'll pop some stuff in the air fryer and have something to eat, have a bit of a drink. We're gonna have some lunch, like I said, and we're gonna head back out and meet up with all the other guys. And we've got another mate coming to meet us, and then we'll go. I think we're gonna head south this time. We were heading up north along the coast before, and I think this time we're gonna head south down the coast. So we'll see what we can find down that way. We'll have something to eat and we'll go from there. Pack up day now. We're on Sunday. It's been a beautiful stay here. The weather has really turned it on. Always when you leave. Always the way. Oh well. Trying to keep the caravan pack up fairly simple. It's all fairly straightforward. Power cord, hose, hook it up. Should be pretty easy. All packed up and done. We're ready to hit the road. Just doing our final checks over everything, make sure everything's all hooked up nicely and fastened. Seen heaps of people lose these front hatch windows. I always double triple check that, but we're all hooked up. Airbags are up, car's all ready, everything inside's put away so it can't fall off, and I think we're good to go. Go pick the kids up from the bouncy castle and go. The beachfront sites at Wallaroo Holiday Park were $80 each, powered site, and I think there was about 6 of them all lined up on one side of the park. Beautiful trees and everything there as well. It was a little bit windy, but the rest of the park seemed to be a bit more sheltered, but they were all sort of set back behind the beachfront apartments. So they got a big jumpy pillow there for the kids. They got a small little playground and a cafe at the front as well, right on the beach. There's a little petting zoo for the kids as well behind the check-in office. So if you sort of follow the path around the back, you'll see the little cage and the fenced off animals there. The kids can go in and pat the animals between certain times as well, which is really cool. We didn't get to do any fishing this time, unfortunately. We were sort of rained out and we were out exploring and doing a bit of driving with the patrol We had a really good time with the patrol club. Got the car a little bit muddy, unfortunately. We ended up going out for dinner to the Cooper's Ale House on Saturday night. Something we really like about Wallaroo is that it's one of the few beaches in South Australia that you can drive on. There's probably only a handful of them around, but Wallaroo is a massive beach and the tide goes right out, so it's really good for setting up for the day, and the kids can go play in the water and have a little home base. Good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. Morning, guys. Wet one last night.